you ever looked up at the night sky and felt small? The stars stretch endlessly, each one a tiny light in an infinite ocean of darkness. Space is a marvel breathtakingly vast and mysterious. But with its beauty comes something deeply unsettling. Why does this infinite void, so full of wonder, also fill us with dread? Space isn't just big, it's boundless, cold, silent, and brutally indifferent. Out there, nothing cares if you live or die. No air, no gravity, no sound, only an endless abyss. And yet, as humans, we're drawn to it. We want to explore it even though it reminds us of how fragile we are. Then comes the real question. Is it the vastness of space that scares us, or what might be waiting within it? Is it the fear of being truly alone, or the fear that we aren't? Today, we'll unravel why space is unlike any fear you've ever known. From its unimaginable size to its merciless hostility, and from existential dread to the mysteries of alien life, we'll explore how space reflects everything we hope, dream, and fear. The void, a fear of nothingness. Space is often described as a void, but it's more than that. It's an abyss. The absence of air, sound, or life is deeply unsettling. Even the quietest places on Earth have some trace of life. The wind rustling trees, the distant hum of traffic, or the sound of your own breath. But in space, there's nothing. Absolute silence, stretching forever. This silence is haunting, not just physically, but it strips away the distractions of life, forcing us to face questions we'd rather avoid. What happens when we die? Is there meaning in all of this? Space offers no comfort, no answers, only its indifferent emptiness. The Bible echoes this sentiment in Ecclesiastes 1-8. All things are full of weariness. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear filled with hearing. Space, infinite and silent, mirrors this sentiment perfectly. It is vast, but it fulfills none of our need for understanding. And then there's the scale of it. Earth, to us, feels immense. Yet, it's a mere speck in a galaxy containing billions of stars, within a universe of billions of galaxies. Our minds, wired to think in kilometers or miles, can't comprehend distances measured in light years. Space is more than big, it's endless. And to confront that endlessness is to confront the limits of what our brains can process, teetering on the edge of incomprehension and terror. The deadly silence of space. One of the most chilling features of space is its utter silence. On Earth, we take sound for granted. Even the quietest moments are filled with subtle noises. The rustle of leaves, the hum of distant machinery, the beat of your own heart. In space, these sounds disappear, and your scream would dissolve into silence. Imagine being an astronaut, floating outside the safety of your spacecraft. The blackness surrounds you, vast and unending. The only sounds you hear are the artificial ones inside your suit, your breath, the hum of your oxygen system. Beyond that, nothing. If your tether snapped or something went wrong, no one would hear you. You'd drift into endless silence, alone. This silence feels oppressive, a suffocating void that mocks how fragile you are. Every second reminds you of life's precariousness, how even a small error, tear in your suit, a malfunction, would end in instant death. The quiet of space doesn't soothe, it isolates, reminding you of just how little separates life from the infinite void. The hostility of the cosmospace isn't passively indifferent, it's actively hostile. Temperatures jump from searing heat to freezing cold. Deadly radiation bombards everything. Micrometeoroids, no bigger than grains of sand, fly at speeds that can rip through metal. Even the seemingly stable phenomena in space are far more dangerous than we can fully grasp. Take black holes, for instance. These cosmic monsters devour everything that gets too close, so even light cannot escape. If you approached one, gravitational forces would stretch your body into a thin strand, a process known as spaghettification. Inside, time and space collapse into a singularity, where the very laws of physics cease to exist. Black holes are the ultimate voids, both scientifically fascinating and existentially terrifying, because they symbolize mystery and annihilation simultaneously. Even stars, the cosmic beacons we so admire, pose their own threats. When stars die, they collapse into supernova, releasing explosions of energy powerful enough to wipe out entire solar systems. Neutron stars and pulsars with gravity millions of times stronger than Earth's defy comprehension in their destructive potential. The cosmos is a place of creation, yes, but it is also one of relentless destruction. Are we alone? The fear of isolation's question of whether we are alone in the universe is perhaps the most haunting one of all. If we are the only intelligent beings, then the vastness of space becomes even more oppressive. Imagine looking out at an infinitely expanding cosmos, knowing we are the sole witnesses of its beauty, an entire universe devoid of any other voices, other lives. The loneliness of that thought is almost unbearable, but the alternative is equally terrifying. If we are not alone, we are left to wonder, who is out there? Are they peaceful, hostile, far more advanced than us, or something entirely beyond our understanding? The possibility of alien life makes us confront the ultimate unknown, forcing us to consider not only whether we are insignificant, but whether we might also become irrelevant. This duality, fearing that we are alone and fearing that we are, defines much of our fascination with the cosmos. Space challenges everything we know about existence, and with it, everything we know about ourselves. The silence of astronauts, the psychological weight of exploration. Space doesn't just test human bodies, it tests human minds. When astronauts spend months away from Earth, they face extreme isolation and constant reminders of how precarious their existence is. Many experience a phenomenon known as the overview effect. From orbit, they see Earth as a small, fragile sphere suspended in the vast darkness of space. This view can bring awe. It also delivers a humbling sense of vulnerability. Astronauts describe a striking contrast. Inside the spacecraft, there's light, life, and human voices. Outside, the silence is deafening, absolute, and indifferent. The void feels overwhelmingly near, and with it comes the knowledge that survival depends on technology so precise that even a minor flaw could be fatal. Carl Sagan captured this existential weight perfectly. The cosmos is all that is, or ever was, or ever will be. A faint sensation, as if a distant memory, of falling from a great height. Space forces its travelers to reckon with their mortality in ways Earth rarely does. The fragility of life in space. Life in space is always on the edge of extinction. On Earth, we're cocooned by an atmosphere that protects us from radiation, provides air to breathe, and regulates temperature. In space, none of those protections exist. Consider the vacuum of space. Without atmospheric pressure, the human body faces instant disaster. Gases in your bloodstream expand, your lungs collapse, and unconsciousness sets in within seconds due to lack of oxygen. Even the tiniest miscalculation, a stray piece of debris, a mechanical failure, can mean immediate death. This fragility highlights just how improbable life truly is. Earth feels bustling and resilient, but beyond our thin veil of atmosphere, the universe is a stark and cutthroat expanse where survival is the exception, not the rule. In space, humanity is more vulnerable than ever to the immense forces of the cosmos. The fear of infinity. Confronting the unknown. Space also forces us to grapple with a concept far more terrifying than physical dangers: infinity. Humans are wired to think in finite terms, beginnings and endings, borders and limits. Infinity, by its very nature, breaks that framework. There's no edge, no boundary, just an expanse that stretches beyond imagination. This existential confrontation is deeply unsettling. To think of the universe as infinite is to realize our limitations, how little we control, how small we are, and how little the cosmos cares about us. Even the observable universe, which we estimate to be 93 billion light-years across, is likely just a fraction of the greater reality. Space humbles us, and with that humility comes discomfort. The darkness beyond the stars often romanticize space as a field of glittering stars, but this image couldn't be further from the reality. The majority of the universe is overwhelmingly black, a void where stars are so distant that their light has yet to reach us. Over 95% of the universe is composed of dark matter and dark energy forces we neither see nor fully understand. This unseen darkness fuels one of humanity's most primal fears, the fear of the unknown. What lies hidden beyond the reach of light? What exists in the voids between galaxies? It's not just the blackness we see that terrifies, it's the knowledge that most of the universe is an enigma we cannot yet comprehend. Why we keep looking up despite its terrors. Space holds a unique allure. It compels us to keep looking, questioning, and reaching. Why? Perhaps it's because space reflects the core of what it means to be human. Curious, terrified, hopeful. The same stars that make us feel insignificant also inspire us to dream. Space asks us to confront our fears of death, infinity, and isolation, and then challenges us to transcend them. We launch telescopes and probes, not just to discover distant worlds, but to better understand our own. With every mission, we push further into the unknown, proving our resilience and our desire for meaning. The duality of terror and wonder. Space is terrifying because it strips away our illusions of safety and control, but it's also wondrous because it dares us to look beyond ourselves. It is the ultimate mirror of human vulnerability and aspiration. In Psalm 8:3-4, it says, "When I consider your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and the stars, which you have set in place, what is mankind that you are mindful of them?" Space humbles us, reminding us of our fragility, as much as it reminds us of the extraordinary fact that we exist at all. As we continue to explore the vastness of space, we carry our fears and ambitions with us. What we find out there will terrify us, but it will also teach us who we are and, perhaps, who we can become.